So, welcome. Hi there. My name is Sarah Goff. I'm Director of Play for Peace, and I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to Traditions Transformed, a unique and intentional workshop series created just for you, facilitators, educators, peace builders, and community leaders who care deeply about connection, culture, and change. We share more than just a set of new activities, which you'll get, but it's also an invitation to explore the stories, rituals, and patterns we've inherited and to ask, what do we want to carry forward and what are we ready to transform? So, to help us answer this question, I am so honored to introduce our dear colleague, Sinthuja. Sinthuja is an academic practitioner in peace psychology and community engagement. She's also a visiting lecturer in the Department of Psychology, and she serves as our Global Community Engagement Officer at Play for Peace. Her work bridges neuroscience, play, community-based healing, to foster compassion and resilience in post-conflict and culturally diverse contexts. We are so lucky to have her on our team, and we're so lucky to have her presenting some of her thoughts and her experience and some of her favorite activities here today. So without further ado, I am going to introduce and pass the mic over to Sinthuja.
Yeah. Thank you, Zara, and hello all. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, and all greetings from a small island, a beautiful island, Sri Lanka, which carries different stories and different memories and different perspectives and lived experience. So I am here today to share reimagined 6 traditional activities from Sri Lanka, also connect with how I see them as a brain healing medicine. And what stories these all games uh, carried and carrying in my heart, and how I reimagine that as a Play for Peace community member in the lens of our values and co-values. So I can't wait to have this discussion with you, and also like kind of get to know how you feel. So before we start dive into activities and all, so today's session is waves of play and currents of healing from this tiny island, the pearl of Indian Ocean. So before we start the day, I would love to take you all through an island journey. So let's sit quietly and slowly close the eyes as a flower closes in the evening. And just let's relax and connect with this beautiful island music. So let's imagine this is a small, peaceful island in the middle of a calm sea. And hear the gentle waves and feel the soft sand under our feet. And let's notice the sunlight on our skin and the warm breeze. Let's slowly begin walking slowly in our imagination. Step over tiny shells, peek behind rocks, notice the colorful flowers, hear birds, smell the fresh air, feel the cool water at the shore. Find a quiet spot on the island. Take a deep breath and notice how our body feels warm, relaxed, safe. Imagine drawing in calmness with every inhale and letting go of tension with every exhale. Slowly, let's bring our attention back to our body in the room. Let's wiggle our fingers and toes. Let's open our eyes when we're ready. Carry a sense of calm and focus. So, welcome to Sri Lanka, and here we are in the beautiful island. And so, our island is a multi ethnic, multi religious country, whereas we have main 4 to 5 ethnicities and having singular Buddhist as majority and Hindu Tamils and Christians and Islam community, and also having the world's major 4 religion. And also, while carrying this beautiful diversity of ethnicity and religions, cultures, and all walks of life, we at certain point fail to celebrate the diversity. And the story turned, and we went through war, 30 years of civil war, and losing the lives and losing the young ones and losing dreams. Then, when we moved on, we also faced tsunami and then COVID and then religious tension and finally the bankruptcy and, living in dark and losses and pain. But in 2022, we joined hand together and we ignited the protest of love, the protest of nonviolence. And we stood back and we uttered for a peaceful land and peaceful life. Fingers crossed. We are hoping and we are moving forward in the island with hope. So, what made us wounded? What made us not to see the beauty and the prosperity of the diversity we have? I was sitting back and thinking very playfully, like activating the child within me. Then I realized and observed one important pattern that, the polarization, the the division we created went into our brain, and also like we sustain the division between the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere of the brain. So, what could bridge this huge gap that as Homo sapien we brought into the brain that was handed over through eras and generation by reptiles, by pipices to birds to everyone? What could connect? Then the answer is play and the roots of moving our body and having fun and having life. So I was thinking that, okay, if we want to bridge this left part and right part of the brain and give stimulus to heal these wounds and heal this polarization and the darkness we build, what we could do? What are the activities? Then this interesting story in my childhood came back. So I was studying in a village school, which is near to a beautiful mountain and a river. So every day during break and after school, we do this activity of pathfinding, like we just go and find a path and find a new tree and find a new river and it brings so much of joy and so much of connection, and that fresh memory from my childhoodness came sparked in my heart. Then I was sit to design this beautiful activity, Buddy Trail, a magic trial adventure. So, in this activity that we used to play in the regions of hill country in Sri Lanka, there will be a pathfinder and there will be teams. So, a pathfinder will keep away all the team members and create a very funny and adventurous path using small stones, leaves, markers, and also have a starter and end point. So once the pathfinder marked that path, he or she will blindfold the whole team member, and only by giving the verbal guidance of left, right, turn, and move, and just giving this few hints, that pathfinder will take all the team members through the path. And once they reach the end, they complete as a team, then they will celebrate their finding. And also, in order to make sure that during this dark, experience of finding path, that that I Yeah. Okay. So during this dark experience, that when the first person moves, when the team moves, the pathfinder will be the safeguarding buddy. So I thought it's very interesting to imagine this finding path and moving activity in as a indoor or outdoor activity with a group of people, because sometimes the life, with all the chaos that we bring, when we only light up one part of the brain, like when we think that logic is superior and calculations are very superior, and we let die the part of imagination and creativity and all, we create a vicious darkness within us and around us, which leads to visible conflict, to invisible conflict, to structural and violence conflict. So in such space, that we see that reality with our buddies of safety, our buddies of nonviolence, practicing our buddies of love, we can still move on. So this is one activity that I thought it's very interesting. It connects with this fresh childhood experience of myself, of take the bag, and after school, without knowing, without the acknowledgement of parents, we just quickly find few paths and find a new path to the river close by and all, and it's super exciting. So this is Buddy Trail that I wanted to share today, a very precious memory and a very precious activity. Then rhythm. So, Sri Lankan culture is full of rhythms and music, and we have our own kind of instruments. And when I say our own instrument, if we look into the north and east Tamil community, we have our own string instrument called yal. And this is south, you can see on the screen, we call Raban. And Raban is a very interesting instrument. And every New Year, especially we have two New Years. We celebrate the New Year January 1st in Western as all community, and also we have Sinhala Tamil New Year, which we celebrate in April. So when this new year comes, this Raban drumming and this music starts, and we cook all the sweets, all sort of food, and keep it with us, and we just have our own poem sings and own rhythm and all. So when I grown up with the wisdom of how we look at brain and neural path, when I look into this Raban playing and this rhythm and singing and kids and all, I thought it's a effort to reconcile these two hemisphere of brain. You know, nothing is superior in the nature's creation, and we mess up with violence when we believe there are something superior is existing. So I thought this moving body and just sing in the beat while calculate, while do things and all, and while you let the creativity to flow in the word and all, it's such a beautiful dance and play with the two hemispheres of our brain. So I thought today I'm going to sing and teach one rhythm of Sri Lanka with all of the friends who join and our community members who join. So the activity is body raban beat, BRB. And first, let's learn the action. So when we sing this, the action will be clap. So I will get up and do. So the action will be the clap on the right and the clap on the thigh and tap on left side and we crisscross arm and do the right tap. And again we repeat tap on the right thigh, tap on the left thigh and tap in the left side of the chest and cross arm and we tap on the right side. And the last time one, two taps on thighs and one clap. This is the action. I think we can practice quickly. So one left thigh and one right thigh we tap and left and right and we do repeat that and then two taps on thigh and one clap. Okay, so this is the action, and then we are going to go to a Sinhala language song. And also, I have tried up creating an English one for the feasibility of all. So we will first try to sing the Sinhala one, and then I will do the rhythm, and then we will do the very funny English version that I try to create. So this one, Udapalagattat Vattakka, Tananana na 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 na, and the second line, Bimapalagattat Vattakka, Tananana na 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 na. Udapalagattat, Vadapalagattat, Punchi Punchi Giri Vattakka. So this goes like Tananana na 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 na, one tab on right thigh, and Tananana na 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 na, one tap on left thigh, and tananana na 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 na, and we go one, and then tananana na 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 we go two, and punchi punchi giri vattakka, tananana na 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 na. So, okay, this is a bit of, I know it takes time to kind of learn this beat, but let's try with the English rhythm. So, stir the pumpkin from the top. So stir the pumpkin on one thigh and from the top another thigh. And then stir the pumpkin from the ground. Round and round, one tap on the thigh, and the pumpkin goes one tap on the left. And mix it high and mix it low is two taps on thigh and one clap. Okay? Okay, let's do together. Stir the pumpkin from the top, stir the pumpkin from the ground. Round and round the pumpkin goes, mix it high and mix it low. Yes. And then we have kitty, kitty, little cat. What are you sneaking? Look at that. Pumpkin pot is bubbling slow. Mix it high and mix it low. Okay. And then the last line is turn it Turn it, twist it, nice and sweet. Pumpkin makes the song complete. Clap your hands and tap your feet. Rub and drum beats the beat. So it is one activity that I thought it brings this rhythm of ta na 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 ta na 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 ta na 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 ta na 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 ta na 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 na. So this we use our body as a raban here and try to use different verses according to this and play. But in Sri Lanka, we use this beautiful instrument of raban and we make the small poems to count and learn multiplication and learn few vegetables. It's so fun and it's so exciting always to play this all beats and everything. Once again, the reflection that this beautiful activity gives is that how we always could maintain the equilibrium or the bridge between the left brain and the right brain and make sure that we are always in balance, not that we let anything to dominate anything. It's a beautiful message of nonviolence and neuroscience, I always feel. And the next one is tug of war, which is the famous one. I think it not only in Sri Lanka, it played in different contexts. So when I sat and reflect on this, we all know that our brain has neural paths and it has wired many messages, many perspectives, and many learnings. Unfortunately, because of certain things and certain energies, we have developed this language and perspectives of tug of war. So then I was thinking that, okay, if we transform that neural path and reimagine that in the values of play for peace, which are inclusion, cooperation, safety, care, and fun, then we come up, I have came up with this beautiful activity of tug of love. So in the tug of love, how we can play that is that as two teams, we can hold a rope stretched and walk together from a decided starting point to finishing point without folding or dropping it. How we could hold by love, how we could hold without each other, without letting the other one to break. So sitting in Sri Lanka and reimagine that activity and feel that we could play this with our kids, making me so happy because we let other to fall, we let other to struggle, we always tend to otherize the other. But if we forget the neural path of tug of war, and if we can play tug of love, if we can hold the rope, if we can hold the robe of hope, aren't we going to heal the brain, which is wounded by us Homo sapiens for eras? So, the rules of this activity will be the team will hold each other, end of a rope, and walk together from starting to finish, and maximum try to keep the rope stretched. And if the rope bends, drops, falls, anything happens, it's okay. Let's restart. Let's sit. Let's have dialogue. Let's share our pain and fears with compassion. And then we will feel that, oh, we succeeded together. We succeeded with diversity. We are so different, so we are so happy. So, this reimagining of tug of war into tug of love is really communicates me with so many messages of how we still have the hope and skills and capacity and humanity within us to reimagine the neural path that we have instilled. And from there, uh, another activity which we played during our um, primary school and secondary school until we faint and fall. We play this for hours and hours. We can't, if we start to play this, I don't think for our teachers, it's very easy to stop us, which is dog and meat. It's known as dog and meat. And I'm not sure whether we play in other part of the world. So what this game originally means is that there will be two teams, and in the middle there will be a circle, and inside the circle there will be a symbolic object, symbolize a meat piece, and there will be a dog next to the meat and protest and defend, and there in the two teams will have numbers. So there will be a play leader, and that person will call, okay, team A number 1, and that person will run and try to take the meat to the team. And the defender, the dog, need to defend without letting the person to take the meat. And if the person takes the meat, and when the person is taking the meat, if the defender touches the dog, then that person is out. You're right. He or she is not from the game. And again, then another person. So it goes on, it goes on, it goes on. And this was when we as kids given this reality of competing over a piece of meat. It's a story that we heard. It is what we played until faint and until we sweat and get tired. But now, when we sit back and think, oh my goodness, we will never ever let our children to play this. And they need a different narration, and they need a different story, and they need a different interpretation to reimagine. Okay, what we can do, how we can play. Then I told circle of collectors. So there will be a defender in the middle, and both the teams are collectors. So the exploration is how much we could collect. Okay. If I defend somebody without collecting from the circles we have, we are not letting anybody to say, you are out, go, you are not here, you are not in the scene. We are saying that, okay, I am becoming the collector. Now you become the defender. And let's feel how it will be to look when I do not get what I'm looking for or what I'm thriving for. So this game of meat and dog is like reimagined as circle of collectors with win-win aspect, and we all tend to collect and all. So this game, I was thinking that if we give many compassionate narration to children and let them feel that cohesive energy of collective try and collective win and collective success and celebration, and I think we will give such beautiful space for their holistic brain growth. Not by this competing story, definitely, because uh, what we lost and what we have lost in Sri Lanka, and the lives and the people, and this is all because of this narration. So we are very hopeful that with our community, we could bring this compassionate narration on games, whereas our children, our generations, our seventh, ninth generation will have a very compassionate healing narration behind the stories. And the next one is hopscotch. Here, would love to kind of take a stop and take a breath because this is not only played in Sri Lanka and I think many other part. So I would love to listen from most of you here that what does that mean for you hopscotch means, like do you play and how you play and what kind of memory that comes, you're most welcome to unmute and share or share in the chat, and we will have a 2-3 minutes of discussion and then we will look further. Yeah.
It's kind of odd because I know it was a really main game growing up, but I never played it. I don't know why. Maybe it wasn't
Okay.
popular in Texas. I don't know.
Okay. Interesting.
I have very happy memories of being at school playing hopscotch. It was like really good fun. It brought different people together. You had to take it in turns. Yeah, very happy memories. It's a shame in certain places where I am now that those types of traditional games aren't as popular now. Let's bring them back.
Thank you, Julie. Interesting. And any other thoughts about hopscotch? Yeah. Yeah, Omkar. Tokuda Pila in Telugu's Tapu. Yeah, great. And previously playing it with my friends back at home when I was kid. Interesting.
So actually, in the community where I live now, just on the sidewalks, someone will design either a very standard hopscotch with just numbers, or add some fancy like instructions or fantasy component to it. And so, what's beautiful is it doesn't even have to be like a formal group that's playing it. If it's just on the sidewalk, anyone who's walking by can either choose to walk over this hopscotch or just join in for a second and then keep going. So it's actually a beautiful, I feel, community game that can be played if you just build a hopscotch outside your house with chalk, with something that, the rain takes it away, but is very beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you, Zara, for sharing. So, yeah, it's like hopscotch is like played in many part of the world. And thank you, Omkar. I think in all the uh, like part of India, I think in different names and different ways they play. So hopscotch has this, model of having one number and two number and one number and two number, and it goes until seven and sometimes 10 and mostly between 7 and 10. So you can see how it is draw, and you can also see that how there was two kids are playing. So in Sri Lanka, like we play that, and we can't complete school without playing it. It's part of life, and it's part of our a play time. So the concept is the player hop through numbered squares to retrieve a small stone while balancing and following a sequence. So we draw 7 to 10 number boxes, single one, double one, and single one, and double one. And also after 7 and 10, we will sometimes put a half circle and tell that it's home, it's web, it's moon, different stories. Are we going until moon? Are we going until home? Things like that. So how we normally play is that we play in the sequence. We have a very flat stone and put that to box one, and then skip the box which has stone and hop through boxes on one foot, and then we continue to keep the foot on the box and hop and then come back. So this could be played with children in small number of groups, like if they are 10 and 7 to 8 people, and without having anything like scoring and competing energy, without not letting this beautiful sequence and balancing game by bringing that, how as a team we complete whole box and move and play through this. It is a very interesting game and very interesting activity. And this all 6 activities, when I sat and look into it and collect the memories and also connect with what story these games originally were telling to the story we as a country went through because of competition and because of comparison and all this violent trade that we had in our brain and instill in our brain. And finally, when I revisited them and reimagined them with the values of play for peace and make it more inclusive, cooperative, and safe, and fun, and care, and give value to each step and reimagine what each step and each narration beyond this traditional game could tell us. Then I found, oh my God, these 6 games and the 6 activities are medicines for brain. It is to heal the neural path that we made violent, and it is to bridge the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere of the brain and to manage the balance and make us a holistic human, a simple creature that thrive to be compassionate and thrive to be loved. So it is a message that we could reveal the play cycles and we could re-narrate the play cycle, and we can create new stories and new ways of looking into this beautiful traditional innovations to rewrite a story. And in that story, all of us will be healed, all of us will be laughing, all of us will be thriving as full humans to exchange our heart and hands to practice love. So thank you so much for listening to this stories from Island. And also I welcome all of you to the island to dive in, and the walking meditation that we did in the beginning, I wish all of you have in person that experience. And thank you so much. And I open up space for any thoughts and how you look into this with your wisdom, because I know here all of us have a wisdom of looking at things from neuroscience and neural and brain science perspective and healing perspective. So I would love to listen your perspective and your thoughts today. Thank you.
I really loved the body percussion song. I thought that is so great because when you're with people who don't speak the same language, having something that's very physical and on rhythm can be such a great way to get people to play together and look at each other and relate. And yeah, I just thought that was a great idea. I hadn't seen someone like using body and music together like that.
Thank you, Hali.
Hi, I totally agree about the body percussion and the holisticness of that. So in some activities I share with children, we're using sort of the sound and the rhythm. So each like tap or clap or movement or stretch is with a sound or with a syllable, and making very simple rhythmic rhymes. So, coming to Sri Lanka, for example, with 3 languages, we might just do something very simple like good morning or vanakkam, ayabowen. That's very, very beautiful for bringing people together, and just that beautifulness of connecting like the body, the breath, and the sounds. And yeah, you're right. Both of you are totally spot on. That brings people together, doesn't it? Like that commonality, that shared experience. And I learned a really lovely new phrase. It's probably not new to you. It was called collective effervescence. And I just love that.
Thank you, Julie. And I still remember you are sharing the same Vanakkam, Aibovan, and good morning in Sri Lanka when we met first. And it's so nice way of using body and syllables, sound. Thank you.
I like the whole flow, and I loved your soothing voice throughout. And I really loved the tug of war because, I've been in the field for a long time, and to hear about a version of an activity I've never heard of before. I always get really lit up and excited because I've never heard that version before, and I love it. And thank you for that.
Thank you, Marlene.
I was really inspired by the idea of like reflecting on the games that can kind of support this violence and trauma, kind of like they're not maybe the reason why, but they are like supporting this way of raising awareness among kids, or the lack of awareness of cooperation. And I started thinking of like what was the things we were playing as children, and how we can go to that, like both to transform the paths in our brains and through play, because I always thought like, okay, let's just erase that and have something new. But I really like this way of thinking, and I think I will keep on thinking about it in Poland and Ukraine.
Thank you, Maria. I think Maria brings a very deep perspective that sometimes we try to deny and suppress, and as a collective defense, and we are not trying to touch the truth. But if we take the courage to give the respect and love for the traditional wisdom, but at the same time the freedom to change and inhale the change, and it is a great way of practicing compassion. And thank you, Maria, for that insight that it's really important for all of us.
It was really interesting. To be honest, I had classes, I mean, continuously. After that, I joined this meeting, and when when you were singing, I was repeating after you, that ten, 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 ten. I couldn't do it properly, but I tried a lot. And about the movement activities, I have. A perspective that it is the best way to learn. I mean to learn self awareness about ourselves, to know what is the function of each part of our body. I have experienced that some people, I mean, in Afghanistan, they do not appreciate themselves. They don't love themselves. When you play this activity, you feel that, yeah, I'm grateful for whatever that I have. And beside this, we know that how I'm lucky, because when you cannot, I mean, shake your hand or move your hand, it is difficult for you. But in this activity, we also teach. We can teach. I mean, children, youth, to know the value of themselves and the value of their body. Also, we can connect each one to each other. They can see the differences and respect differences. So it was the best way. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Farhanas. It's a very strong thought, and it's very great the way you said it. The least thing that we can imagine as a creature is that feeling that we are not okay or we are not beautiful. But unfortunately, I think only we, among all species, we do that to ourselves. But I'm not taking that negative point. I take the hope that you brought, like we have the tools and we have the courage and compassion to feel the beauty within us and through play and just by play and just with play. Thank you, Farhanas. It's a great thought.
I would like to go. So actually for me, after a long stressful day, it felt like I went back to my childhood, and it was really calming for me. Look, just I was not even playing, I was just looking at it. So thanks for that.
Thank you, Omkar.
I think that's actually a beautiful segue into, both Play for Peace and a lot of the work that we do, the people on the call, is for children and for youth. And what we've found doing this work is it's really important for adults too. So whenever we can play ourselves, whenever we can invite parents in, other teachers in, we actually do a lot of work with adults as well in the community, because the stress we're under in our lives these days, and the to some extent increased isolation that some of us feel, either because of geographical restrictions or just so much of life being more online and disconnected from community. Whenever and wherever we can insert these games and activities into our lives is just amazing. And what Sinthuja's done is just wonderful. And just so you know, everyone will get the recording, so you can, I'm going to practice the song because it takes me much longer to learn that than in just one session. But and I'm actually just curious to know. Actually, the drum song was also one of my favorites, because I think it also, there's so much science coming out around the binaural beats, and the even the EMDR. All of these things shows that nervous system regulation can be enhanced by activating, even just walking, moving one side of your body, then the other side of your body. That's why reading as well, looking from one side to the other side. And so that activity had baked in some nervous system regulation, which I absolutely love. And I'm so curious about the pumpkin. I want to try the pumpkin. That's squashes are one of my favorites. So I love that the song was focused on cooking a pumpkin, and there was a naughty little cat nearby. So what a wonderful activity that both regulates the nervous system, but it adds a little playful story into it. So I love seeing that one.
Yeah. Thank you, Zara. And it's always like how this perspective of reshaping the story and then connect it with moments and body, and then tap to the wisdom of compassion. I think that is what play offers all of us, and we are blessed to have that universal language and also be part of a community which cherish that and which believe in that every other day. So thank you so much for all the feedback and also all the participation and the presence. And we all made it together with all the vibes, visible and invisible. So so much of love to all.